So, Gabi, thank you. I can't believe
Hi.
you're here. This is
Oh,
awesome.
well, thank you so much, Ryan and Danny. I'm really honored to be here today, and I'm actually going to be wearing two hats for you. One to represent Organized Q, which is a small business that I founded in 2017. As a former military spouse, I was looking for flexible remote work. So Organized Q provides virtual executive assistant services for small business owners, executives, and social impact organizations. However, our social impact mission, which is something that I'm very proud of, is that we provide flexible remote work opportunities, in particular for military spouses, veterans, and underemployed professionals. So when you talk about, hey, as a small business owner or entrepreneur, wearing all of the hats all of the time, you have to be an expert in that space. Well, no, I take it back. You don't have to be an expert in that space. You can outsource things. So small businesses such as Organized Q can definitely help support that. We support, the admin, where uh, things get the minutia of the day to day can become overwhelming, and so we can help take care of that. Really excited about the opportunities that we bring for those that are interested in flexible remote work, but then also on the other side in providing assistance for companies and organizations that are really looking for fractional support. So that's one hat that I wear. But the other hat that I wear that I'm really excited to share with you all is that I also teach at NYU at the Veteran Future Lab, and really excited about sharing some opportunities that are cost free to the military connected community for service members, veterans, and military spouse entrepreneurs. I know that there are several different programs out there from reputable organizations, and we love to promote and sponsor them. But today I want to talk a little bit about the Veterans Future Lab. I hope that I can present this to you. Let's see. I don't think I can. Well, I will talk about it. So NYU's Tandon Veterans Future Lab, it's an incubator program for military veterans and spouse-led ventures. It's housed under the NYU Tandon School of Engineering, which is pretty significant because 4 of 37 NYU Nobel laureates have come out of the School of Engineering. The Tandon School of Engineering is the key center of research in the development of microwave, wireless, radar, electronics in general, polymers, industrial engineering, operations research, and the U.S. space program. It's the fastest rising engineering school in the country. And the alumni include the founder of IBM, the first female dean of U.S. engineering schools, and the first African American woman CEO of a Fortune 500 company, which is Xerox. The Tandon Future Labs has 3 labs that are available to those that are interested. The Data Future Lab, which is a hub for data-driven startups. The Urban Future Lab, which is a hub for climate and clean energy startups. And the Veterans Future Lab, which is more in line probably with the community that's tuning in today, which is a hub for veteran entrepreneurship. Under the Veteran Future Lab, we have 3 specific programs. Our first is Apex, which is a 9-month high-touch incubator for early-stage startups. It's no cost to the founders. It's equity free. There's custom membership and top-tier resources. Vet One is another opportunity as well, and applications are actually open for this program for the spring session. This is the introductory level 10-week training to transition into tech and entrepreneurship. It's held every fall and spring. Those that graduate from the program receive a vet certificate from NYU's Tandon School of Engineering from the Future Labs upon completion. Then we have a follow-on course as well, which is Vet 2, which is an intermediate level 8-week training program that is held there as well. You receive a vet certificate from NYU also. All of these are virtual, so you do not need to be in the New York City area. However, being part of the community, you have access to different programs throughout the Veteran Future Lab life cycle once you complete the program. So really joining and being part of the ecosystem is what I think most people take away and find to be really beneficial. Just really excited to be able to show and share some of the opportunities that are available to those in the military connected community that are interested in entrepreneurship. Again, if you're interested in taking part in that one, our applications are open right now for the spring session. And does it have a program for nonprofits? You can come through as a nonprofit for sure in the Vet 1 and the Vet 2 courses. Apex is more in line for those that are heavily tech enabled, but we always encourage those that are more that feel that they're ready for that to come on through and apply. Really excited about the opportunities, and I'm not sure if Ryan is still here, but happy to answer any questions that are in the chat, whether that be about Organized Q or about the NYU Veteran Future Labs program. Let's see. Hi, Annette.
Hi.
It's so good to see you. Thank you for being here.
They just popped me in. Hey, thank you for being here. I did go through your program. Myself and Ryan went through your program.
Yes.
And we learned so much. So I'm really grateful that we were able to participate in that. And I would encourage anybody out there to apply for it and do it, because you don't know what you don't know. And I know we don't all know everything, although we like to think we do. We don't. So it's always good to learn something new, even from other members that are participating in the program. Like when you put us out in the breakout sessions and we were just able to discuss among ourselves, the connections and the resources those were amazing. So I appreciate everything that you do.
Oh, well, thank you very much. No, really excited. I love working with entrepreneurs, whether it be in the school setting or, on the business side of it. And, always excited to see military connected entrepreneurs coming through with their ideas, with their ventures, and, seeing them grow and expand and being able to take them to the next level. Again, some of the opportunities with the Veteran Future Lab and being in the ecosystem. Barclays is actually the gracious sponsor of the Veteran Future Labs at NYU. And with that and their headquarters, or one of their headquarters being in New York City, there's opportunities throughout the year, both for current members, but also alumni of the program to be involved with some of the programming that Barclays provides, such as, pitch opportunities where you're able to go and, have a group of Barclays, bankers and Barclays, key leaders who can give you live feedback on your pitch, your idea, your venture. And, it's really a fantastic kind of pinch me opportunity. We just had one a few weeks ago, and, being in Manhattan and going, wow, how is it that we are here? But very, very gracious. It can feel a little bit intimidating, but, sometimes just showing up is half the battle, and you never know what kinds of opportunities can come from that. Also, other things with the Veteran Future Lab and, being in the ecosystem, once a year we have a summit that, we bring together other military connected businesses and ventures for, a half-day workshop in New York City. And it's really a great opportunity. Our next one will be in the early spring, and excited about, those that are connected to the military that might be interested in coming. I'm seeing on the screen, you don't know what you don't know. That is that's very, very true. And the last gentleman that was speaking had talked about, hey, that analysis paralysis is real, and sometimes just getting it out the door, showing up, is a huge step in the right direction to accomplishing your next goals and what you're looking for. Annette, is there anything else that the audience might be interested in learning about or talking about or hearing about while I'm here?
I'm looking through the comments and I'm wondering if anybody else has any questions. Like I said before, it's definitely something that I would look into. Just the how do you do that? Oh wait, I don't know. Okay.
I'm backstage. I have my hand raised. I have questions. I have questions.
You may ask.
No, Gab, and it actually started at the end of Ralph's talk where I started to think about it, and then we just flowed right into it. I think there's this natural synergy of flow here. And what I wrote down was, let's talk about delegate, automate, and eliminate in a way that creates new opportunities. Like, I think we have this fear that there's this fear going on about things that are going to make work easier, that are going to make work more efficient. But I think that's a good thing because it will allow us to create more opportunities in other areas. So like if, so I just love this idea of what you do to help kind of synergize that. So what are some of the ways that you think of being able to kind of create these systems to help people, automate stuff and get things out of their hands? How has that created more opportunity for them to grow? And have you gotten a lot of feedback on that? And I'd love to hear more because I think there's a lot of us that still really kind of hold on to, oh, I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to do this. So thank you.
Sure. I think that there's a couple of components with that. Obviously, we know that tools and automations that are out there, and AI and having things automated on our behalf is definitely a plus and a benefit. However, I think having real people still involved and having whether it be a sounding board, a trusted partner that you can talk with and really help to get down to the basics and understand what the big visions and goals of what your venture, your project, what that looks like, being able to map it out first. That strategic planning at the very beginning, which Organize Q or other programs or companies that are out there can help you walk through that and then decide, okay, if these are your top 3 goals for the next 12 18 months, let's deconstruct it and work backwards and decide what's going to be the biggest benefit to help meet those goals. So whether that be a particular tool, a system, an executive assistant, a virtual assistant that might be able to help you get to what those goalposts are that you're looking to meet. It is hard, especially for solopreneurs, those that are doing it all themselves and wearing all of the hats all of the time. There's a couple of things that are limiting, right? Time is a limiting factor. Money is a limiting factor. And so you're wearing all of the hats, trying to do it all. And it's like the chicken and the egg. You're like, I need to have this revenue so that I can use that to either hire somebody, outsource this, or implement this tool or program to help things move forward. Looking at it in bite-sized chunks. Well, is there a portion of it that you can outsource? And really understand, who and what you're outsourcing to, and are they in line with your values, your vision, and can they be a trusted partner, a sounding board, an accountability partner that can help move you forward. So there's a few different, aspects there of, letting things go to an extent, but also, still having a pulse on how things continue to run. There's just not enough time in the day to be able to do it all efficiently and well. And so finding ways to streamline that is really beneficial. The Small Business Organized Queue, we provide support for as little as like 20 hours a month, which roughly comes out to 5 hours a week. And so it's a small opportunity to go, hey, let's try this out. Let's figure it out. And, over time, building that trust with the client, really seems to streamline, what it is and that understanding of what they need. So those are some of the things that we can help provide. And then if we're not the right organization or company for a client, we believe that there's more work and benefit to sharing, and so we've got great recommendations and referrals to other organizations that might be a good fit.
I'm super curious, Gabi, just because, when people are talking about the financial aspect, especially like a lot of startups, or when to bring on a virtual assistant into their business, because this automation, these programs can be slow to build. And like you said, I love the fact that you introduced the idea of building these systems with somebody else's eyes on it, because I know I've built things before thinking they're going to work a certain way. And then I hand it off to somebody and they're just like, wait, what do you need me to do? But I want to do the cost analysis, because I know for me, if I was to pay somebody with my skill set to do the job that I do, it's going to be at least on the entrepreneur side, $75 an hour. I don't make that in my day job. So when we're going and looking at, am I going to take 2 hours to do this, or can an assistant do this consistently over time? What does that cost analysis look like to you in a business sense?
I think there's two factors, right? You've got, yes, the actual dollar amount, the exchange of money, but also like, hey, if money or resources in that economic bucket, if you will, are limited on your source, get creative and think about, okay, what kind of financial budget do you have? Or, one thing that we recommend, especially on the class side of it, is, a bartering system. Like if you have something that you can trade that is of value to another entity, explore that, explore those opportunities. My biggest suggestion is whatever people decide to do, if the financial resources are the limiting factor for you, is put it in writing. Be really clear with the people that you're working with, what the expectations are, and then put a time limit on it. Let's say like, hey, let's try this for 3 months, and let's then reevaluate, hey, is this a good working relationship? Is this, do we need to go in different directions? It is really, really hard to just start a partnership, if you will, a verbal partnership, a handshake partnership, and be under the assumption that everybody's on the same page, to later find out that's not true. And then you've lost a friend, you've burned bridges, like whatever it is. That's terrible. Absolutely terrible. And I know that more of us in the audience than probably not have experienced this. You're like, should have, thought about this a little bit more. But having that accountability partner in the very beginning to help kind of bounce ideas off of each other can be really, really beneficial in the long run, is what we have seen. Again, if money is the limiting factor, find, what it is that you can exchange. Let's say that you've got a podcast. Is that something like, having them have marketing opportunities on your podcast or on your website? Would that be a valuable exchange for them to be able to help you do X, Y, or Z? Get creative in how you think about it.
Definitely going to need to do some bartering with you.
We can do that. We're open to it, because we've all been there. We've all been there. And then as a small business owner, yes, the revenue matters. But when you look at your cost analysis at the end, you're like, okay, we'll do this with the expectation of X, Y, and Z will happen. And you like, the analysis paralysis is real, but also getting overwhelmed in like a stack of to-dos is also limiting. So get creative. We've got lots of entrepreneurs and resilient folks in the military connected community that, Organized Q can help you figure it out.
Yeah. I've watched some people close to me step into the space of hiring virtual assistants, express gratitude for the relief, and then turn around and for whatever reason take those responsibilities back upon themselves. And part of the thing of them hiring the virtual assistant was so they could have more time with their family, more time with their friends, and also more mental capacity to focus on the things of their business that mattered the most. What would you say to some people that have stepped into the virtual assistant realm and then for whatever reason have backed out and said, this isn't for me?
I think there's a couple of pieces to that. One, sometimes we find interested individuals or companies or organizations that say, I know I need help. And they think that like this magical being is going to step in it and like do all of the things. So in this space of administrative support, it's very gray. It's not black and white. Data entry is considered administrative support, but so is like building a slide deck could be technically considered administrative support. Those are two very different skill sets. And so we have sometimes seen entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, individuals come in and say, I need all of the help in all of the areas. And while we want to be able to do that and help, sometimes it's like, hey, we've got to break this down into buckets and get really clear and strategic on where can your resources as the client be applied. But then also, hey, while we're listening and discovering what it is that they need, sometimes they don't need a virtual assistant or they don't need an administrative assistant. They need somebody in sales, right? Which is sales is hard, especially if individuals are like, hey, I want to do all of this cold outreach. That can, for somebody who, does not have a sales background, can be very demoralizing, because how many no's do sales reps get? And you go, well, it's administrative. You're just sending out 100 emails a day. Well, yeah, but you're asking to build out your sales pipeline. Like that is very different than, somebody who's managing your calendar for, constituents in your Rolodex, if you will, that you already know. So it's getting very clear on what expectations are, what the goals are, and then finding the right match there. So you as an entrepreneur who are wearing all of the hats and you're like, I'm doing all this outreach. Yes, it's administrative. I'm searching on LinkedIn for all of these leads or, wherever it is. Well, that's a very specific role that comes under sales, or maybe it's marketing, or maybe it's business development. Like really good business development professionals are expensive. That is not going to be a cheap virtual assistant. Just isn't.
Yeah, no, that's really amazing. Thank you for answering my questions. Are there any audience related questions or Annette, do you have any thoughts on this? I know with the magazine, like there's a lot of different things that a virtual assistant could be useful for.
So absolutely. I spent the past 7 years trying to do everything myself. And I finally realized I can't. But Ryan graciously we have a VA for the magazine, but I also have looked into getting a VA for my other side businesses because it's a lot. You spend hours and hours behind the screen trying to do everything yourself. So I've spoken with Gabi in the past about that, and I keep going back to it. So one day I'm going to do it. I just it's an investment that's worth it. I know that because the amount of work that we try to do ourselves because we think we can, it's exhausting. Then you miss out on life. And I know that I love what Gabi does because I see her spending time with her children all the time. And we forget that. We forget that because we put work first. So I know what Organized Q does. And I want to tell the dogs and the rest of our audience that they definitely need to reach out to her because it's such a stress reliever to have that. we all need one. And that's what they're there for, right? It's not to say that you are not capable. It's to say that let's help you get that stress off your back because it's so much. We do everything ourselves. And I think maybe that's a little bit of military training too. I don't need help. I could do it myself. So yeah, whoever's out there that's listening, reach out, just have a conversation with her and see what she can do for you. So yeah.
We at Organized Q, we don't like to say work-life balance. We like to say work-life integration. How does it all fit together? You know, you've got your professional life, your personal life, you know, all of the things that are important to you, and how can we help clients and our team members as well, you know, make it happen. And at the end of the day, there's a couple of things that matter, right? That work is not going to love you back at the end of life, right? It's the people and the relationships that you've built along the way. But also in the interim, we still have to pay for groceries. So, you know, being able to, you know, make some money, it matters. Like, we all have to pay bills. And, you know, being able to find partners, you know, in the professional sense, it's almost like dating, right? Like, you have to be able, like, it takes time. It takes time to build a relationship. It takes time to understand, like, hey, is this a good match? And if it's not a good match, that's okay. You know, there is a match out there that will fit, you know, what you're looking for, the resources that you have, and also what you view this assistance, what value that's going to bring to you, and your organization that you're building. We're always excited and happy to talk. You know, organizedq.com is where you can find us, but I'm on social media as well. You know, and happy to answer any questions, whether it be on the professional side where you're looking for assistance, or if you're looking to become an entrepreneur or expand that desire through the NYU Veteran Future Lab. I'm happy to talk about all of those. And I'm really excited to have been here today.
You do some amazing stuff, Gabi. And one of the things that I love about your aspect is you're not only adding value to businesses and people's work-life integration, but you're also helping employ some of the more difficult communities to employ, which is military spouses and veterans looking for remote work, because it's a job that they can take with them no matter where they're going.
Yeah. And, you know, and it was really born, like, I don't have any tattoos. And if I did, it would be the quote, necessity is the mother of invention. And really that's how Organized Q was started, is I myself as a military spouse going through transition, I'm like, I need to be able to bring some money in. What can I do? And so that's really how Organized Q started, and then came to realize there's a huge population of other human beings that want flexible remote work because they're juggling all of the things of life. And you know, the military community is near and dear to my heart. After many generations, my grandfathers were, you know, World War II veterans. My father is a veteran as well, and you know, it's important to me, and it's one way that I can give back, and we can help the economy at the same time.
I love that. The mindset is so good. That's the military mindset. You see a problem and you work to fix it, and you endure until somebody tells you to, hey, you're done. The mission's been solved. So
right.
I'm super proud of you. Keep going with that mission. That's amazing.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me today.